Well, the major movement behind that headline rate comes from the transport sector, and within that from two groupings, from motor fuels and from air transport. Together they accounted for about 3/4 of the movement in the headline rate. In the case of motor fuels, we saw petrol prices falling by 2.1 pence per litre between March and April this year, and that compares with a rise of about 3.2 pence per litre between the same 2 months a year ago. Similarly, diesel prices fell. They fell by 3.9 pence per litre this year, compared with a 2.1 pence per litre rise a year ago. The other half of that then is air transport. We saw fares falling by about 6.4% on the month this year, and that compares with a rise of 7.4% a year ago. So together, as I said, they account for about 3/4 of the downward movement in the headline rate.
Now, we've been talking a lot about inflation over this past week or so, of course, because we heard from the Bank of England and the governor there really giving us an indication about inflation forecasts for the year ahead. They are likely to be lowered. But still, we're talking about a fall in inflation today. It's still well above that government's 2% target, though.
It is still above the 2% target, but it is actually closer to it now than it's been since September last year, when we had a 2.2% rate. What happens from here, we'll obviously have to wait and see whether it goes back up or goes closer to target.
Now, I just want to ask you about a report that was out yesterday. This is from Ernst & Young, and they talk about the corrosive impact of inflation. They suggest that inflation costing the economy about £10 billion over the last few years because inflation is so high. Just talk people through that, about how this is affecting their everyday expenses and where that filters through to household budgets.
Okay, well, clearly it's not just rising prices that affect household budgets, it's wages also affect them. And if wages are rising by less than in inflation, then they have less to spend. And particularly when you see some of the items that people have to spend money on, some of the utilities, for example, gas and electricity prices are rising quite steeply. Gas prices are up around 8.3% on the year, electricity prices up 7.6%. If people have to spend money on those sorts of items, it means there's less disposable income that they can spend on the luxuries of life, if you like. So some people will be seeing a fall in their living standards as a result.